let's talk about Harvey Elliott. I mean, I'm not sure Harvey Elliott likes being spoken about, given his celebration. Chat, cut. I'm pretty sure that means I'm not going anywhere, because there's been loads of talk, of course, about Harvey Elliott and his future. And then, obviously, we were live on doing our build-up show, and he wasn't in the starting 11, Errol, and a lot was made about that. When's he going to play? He comes on at half-time. Now, we don't know if that was a pre-planned substitution, because him and Alexis both come on for Jones and for Gravenberch respectively. It might have had something to do with Curtis getting a bit of a knock. We'll never know. But Harvey, and I'll bring his graphics up on the screen while we discuss his performance, he gets a 7 from SofaScore, a 6.8 from Who Scored, and a 7.4 from FOTMob.
Who Scored is defo ran by Manchester United. It's got to be at this point. They just don't like giving out decent scores.
They're harsh markers. He gets his goal, gets a bit of luck with his goal. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't the cleanest of strikes. Apologies, it was the cleanest of strikes. It did take a bit of a wicked deflection to beat the goalkeeper. But it felt like a lot of the good that Liverpool did came via Harvey Elliott, and like I say, an important moment, because Liverpool scored 2 goals tonight, and 2 times celebrations, messages were passed. First one was Curtis Jones saying, I still like Mo Salah more than Eden Hazard, sorry about the interview. The second one, Harvey Elliott cut out the noise. I think that was a big moment for Harvey to get that goal again. A bit of luck to it, but he is, at this moment in time, he's the 5th man in Liverpool's midfield. But that's twice in a couple of games now where he's made an impression off the bench. And
that was my point in the build-up. For me, you might have him as 5th choice, but I have him as the guy that's going to get us output more often than not, whether it's going to be a goal or an assist. And the 2 times he's featured in the spaces of the week, he's done the goal and the assist.
Yep.
Now, the important thing for me tonight in terms of the goal itself was the actual timing of it. Liverpool hadn't had that many corners. The delivery from Simicast today probably worth just an honorary mention. The deliveries were top class today. That was probably the worst delivery, because it's defended with really well. It just falls to him, and you said if you don't buy a ticket, you're not going to win the raffle. Do you know what I mean? You buy the ticket, you've got every chance to win.
He takes the strike early. He connects so well. I mean, it's a lazy leg by the defender, and goalies hate that. A goalie would rather either throw yourself in the way or get out the way. Yeah. Don't just angle a leg. It gets a bit of luck, but it was such a sweet strike. And again, sometimes you earn your luck. And it's interesting because you mentioned the output. I think if you asked Harvey Elliott, he's played 131 times for Liverpool now. Now, granted, very rarely is it 90 minutes. I'm just looking now. Over 100 of those 130 games, he's either come off the bench or been taken off. So it isn't always 90. But that was just his 12th goal for Liverpool, added to his 15 assists that he's had in over 100 games. He is capable of it. Yeah. And he's shown this week, actually, you're right, because it's hard against this Liverpool team. McAllister, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch are the starters.
He's got to have a difference that the others...
Exactly, that Jones is next in line, it looks like, given what we saw today. They all bring different things. And you are right, if he's going to be the goals and assists guy off the bench, that's a fine place to be for now.
Got to have a different dimension.
And he did play like he had a point to prove. Like he's clearly not happy being 5th choice, and no one should ever be happy being whatever choice you are. Unless you're in the team, then you should never be happy. You're in the wrong place if you're just happy to sit on.
Sit on the bench at Liverpool now. Yeah. You're not for us.
The mentality's not right.
So, no, not at all.
But he comes on and he's got a long time. Actually, 45 minutes is a pretty decent nick in a Champions League game.
Dan said in the build-up before he hadn't had more than half an hour so far in terms of when he's been brought into the. Yeah,
he's played other than League Cup games. He's rarely featured that long. So for him to get 45 and to put in a pretty decent performance, it bodes well for him.
It does. And again, it comes back to the same kind of thing you touched on with Jarrell. That confidence, he is full of confidence. He's never seemed to be the type of player that has doubted himself or doubted his own ability, and he's had that from young. And the way he's broke through, the way we got him from Fulham and all the rest of it, and now he's been looked after in the Klopp system and in that team. And again, last year he was used, and he probably felt like a bit of a super sub, not necessarily a bit pop player, but definitely a super sub to an extent last year. With the impact, I just believe that, elaborating on your point there, all of the players, and it is the trade-off, but all of those players in that midfield offer us all something very different, and they're all components that are slot values in very particular ways. But one of the things where you could probably look across the other 4 is probably the volume of output. If Harvey can be that consistent in terms of, I will provide you a goal or a assist in every other game that I'm on, or I'm brought into the game, it's an invaluable tool because we mentioned it before, and again, I know this isn't necessarily just about Champions League, but what Arsenal lacked in their draw against Aston Villa the other day was that ability to bring somebody off the bench that could be impactful as a bit of a game changer. And Liverpool's strength and depth, we've had Harvey Elliott for so long now, we kind of take it for granted, and we probably, because we don't particularly see him as he's an out and out 8 or he's an out and out winger and he's nailed down a position, it still shouldn't negate from the quality that he actually has as a player.
I love him as a guy as well. Like the quote, he's obviously into it after the game, what's the celebration mean? And he basically confirms, I read this verbatim, so no confusion, no misunderstanding, and he means every word. It's clear what it meant. I am not leaving. This is my team. This is my club. We are literally like a family. That is emphatic as it gets.
Yeah.
Like, and I love that. Like, he's a kid. He's not technically a Scouser, but he's been a Liverpool fan his whole life. His family have been Liverpool supporters. Like I say, I've had the pleasure of meeting a couple of them. If
Chen comes out and says that breaks the internet. Yeah. Like it's that kind of line.
I think it's absolutely fantastic, and I have to be careful because I get clipped and I get memed, and I don't mean this right. People who are desperate for signings, and I understand it. There are certain areas in the squad that are going to be hard to improve. Harvey Elliott's fourth choice as a number 10 at this moment in time. He's fourth choice. He's fucking really good. Like, you're going to have to get someone banging in that position. And I understand maybe centre-back and maybe DM or other areas, and I completely get it. But I think you hit the nail on the head before. There's a reason why Liverpool are top of both leagues. The squad is really, really strong. And players like him, who have a point to prove and are desperate to succeed at Liverpool, who aren't getting enough minutes. And listen, trying to think. If he moved to Brighton, which he was linked with, he'd probably play every week.
Yeah.
But he gets it, and they're all bought in. And for him to have the performance today and cap it off with a good strike, bit of a fortuitous goal.
Just impact, you know what I mean? Again, it's that if he's capped it off with impact, and that's all the manager's asking him to do. Every time you get your opportunity, do something, impact the game positively, bring an energy, bring a dimension to the game that I've taken out of the game that you can now inject in. Do you lose a little bit there? Goal comes, down that side. People might have said, Harvey may have been responsible for not getting back or whatever it may have been. But then the other side of things, it's that counterbalance. And I think the more that he's able to see what Harvey does on the pitch, the more he can mould him and tweak his game to try and at least mitigate the defensive frailties potentially, or the lack of physicality potentially. And then he can obviously try and maximise what he can do in terms of the output and get him into the real opportunities or real areas in the pitch that will lead to clear-cut opportunities for Liverpool to do some damage to the opposition. And again, I thought from a confidence perspective as well, he's a very confident lad. You can see it in him. He uses confidence. He's got that swagger about him from a young man. You know what I mean? He's just like...
Arne Slot speak about him as well. He said his performance was good. It's what you expect. He's a quality player, and he is. And that's a guy, by the way, who Arne Slot hasn't picked loads. That's the strength in depth Liverpool have got. To go through some of Harvey's numbers then, Errol, just quickly in terms of what... Obviously, he gets his goal. He gets 18 of 21 passes correct, so 86%. The only real blemish, like I say, he kind of farts about with it towards his own goal and results in a bit of an iffy moment. He probably needed to wake up a little bit more there. But in terms of, like I say, his attacking, he looked like he was really bang up for it. He looked like a guy with a point to prove, because this was a night, and albeit a competitive night, it felt like a lot of it Liverpool were in third gear a little bit, and rightly so. You don't want to, there's no need to go full pelt in this one. It's not the end of the world if you don't win it. You'd like to, but just take it easy. The seconds like Jones or Diaz felt a little niggle, get off. The manager rests Ryan Gravenberch at half time. It wasn't the Champions League final.
You see how easy Jones innocuously got injured. He's just like, right, you're someone I can't afford to even take a niggle or anything like that.
I thought Elliott, when he come on, kind of, because he has got such a point to prove, it's the first time really
he still played like he had to be at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And you need some of those players sometimes. It was the same with Darwin the other day. Again, obviously, different set of circumstances, the pressure's different, but Darwin came in needing to do something, because he's like, this game needs a goal, and if I go on to score it, it changes the complexion of everything that we're pushing towards, you know what I mean, for the better. And again, Harvey being in the game, it was at that point when it was 1-1, it needed a goal again. It needed a match winner, and today he's been that match winner for us. And Chiesa the same again. Honorary mention to him when he came on, being very direct and wanting to get his shots off. And for me, that again is just a display of the quality in depth, but the quality that you can bring in off the bench, or one of them at least add the intensity and the level that the normal lads are adding on a consistent basis over the course of a season. So if you're bottling that, it's like bottling lightning. You know what I mean? It's going to burn very bright for a short period of time, but in those short bursts, that might be perfect for what we need to just navigate certain games and certain situations.
And to round off very quickly again, just reaction to that quote, it's fantastic. It's such a good quote. It can't be misconstrued. It can't be anything. No. It's not,
there's no reading between the lines.
And as a fan, and again, to hear a 21-year-old kid, that I'm a fucking 37-year-old fella. I mean, like, I'm of a different generation to this lad, and yeah, I'm sat there almost idolising him, and he's a kid because, like, that's what I would say if I played for Liverpool.
They're my lyrics. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? The sky is blue and the grass is green. The end.
And I'm not leaving this no matter what. Whoa. I think it's fantastic. Fair play to Harvey Elliott. I thought he was exceptional.